There's growing buzz on Capitol Hill about tying two major pieces of crypto legislation together: the Stablecoin Bill and the Clarity for Payment Stablecoins Act, often just called the Clarity Act. And while the idea of marriage might sound sweet, I got married a year ago and it's been great, this kind of legislative coupling might not be a love story. Here's the thing. The Stablecoin Bill has bipartisan traction. It's about establishing guardrails around the issuance and regulation of stablecoins, those crypto assets that are pegged to the dollar and meant to be, well, stable. There's a sense that it's time for Congress to step in with clear rules. But here's where it gets tricky. Some conservatives, especially from the House, are pushing to marry the Stablecoin Bill with the Clarity Act. They want both passed together as a package deal. That's like saying you can have dessert, but only if you eat this mystery casserole first. The Senate, not so hungry for that casserole.
A few senators have already voiced concerns, warning that tying the two bills together could tank the entire effort. Why? Because while stablecoin regulation has support, the Clarity Act is far more controversial. It raises questions about jurisdiction, who oversees what in the crypto space, and could draw fire from regulators like the SEC or Treasury. The risk is clear. Marry the two and you might lose the votes you need to pass either. This isn't just about crypto. It's about how Congress works, or doesn't. Washington has a habit of adding unrelated bills together and hoping no one notices, but crypto regulation is too important and too fragile right now to play that game. One wrong move, one controversial clause, and the whole opportunity could collapse. That's why some lawmakers are saying, let's keep these bills single and focused.
Have a marriage in the Senate between the Clarity Act and the Genius Act, because the person presiding over that wedding would be Elizabeth Warren. I can't imagine a worse situation in all of politics than having Elizabeth Warren be the person presiding over the Clarity Act and the Genius Act coming together.
Senator Elizabeth Warren. The Clarity Act is about defining regulatory lines for stablecoins and crypto. The Genius Act? It's got ideas, but it's also got Warren's fingerprints all over it when it comes to expanding federal oversight. Warren has made it very clear. She's not here to help crypto thrive. She's here to tie it down, regulate it to death, and maybe even send it back to the Stone Age. So now, some folks want to marry the Clarity Act to the Genius Act, two bills with totally different vibes, and hand over the ceremony to the single most anti-crypto voice in Washington. Here's the political reality. Marrying these bills together could kill both. The Clarity Act might have a shot on its own, but once you rope it to the Genius Act, with Warren leading the show, moderate Democrats and even some crypto-skeptical Republicans walk away. If you want real crypto legislation that works, maybe we should stop planning weddings and start writing smart laws, like separately.
But the major concern, and I think for all folks awareness who are in crypto to be aware of, is that the latest push is now to have the CBDC bill, not with the stablecoin bill, but with the Clarity Act, the market structure bill. And that bill is on pretty thin ice when it comes to odds in the Senate. We've already seen a lot of senators on the Democrat side really holding their powder dry, seeing how this develops in the House, because they understand that the Clarity Act is probably the highest priority for crypto industry as a whole. Now, if you add CBDC to it, which is more of a Trump campaign promise situation, it gives them all the more reason to walk away. And we've been seeing that reiterated very heavily through Tim Scott, French Hill, and several of the other members of Congress who've been heavily involved in this legislation for years now.
All right, crypto folks, listen up. There's a new legislative twist happening in D.C., and it could ice out the entire future of crypto regulation in the U.S. The latest push in Congress is no longer to pair the central bank digital currency, the CBDC ban bill, with stablecoin legislation. That pairing? Off the table. Now, the push is to tie CBDC to the Clarity Act and the Market Structure Bill. And that right there, that combo is skating on thin ice in the Senate. The Clarity Act, for those of you who don't know, is the crypto industry's top priority. It would finally draw clear lines around what's a commodity, what's a security, and how crypto firms operate legally. But now that lawmakers are trying to wedge the CBDC ban bill into the mix, which, let's be honest, is more of a Trump-era anti-Fed campaign promise, it gives Democrats every reason to slam the brakes. We've already seen it. Senate Democrats are holding their powder dry, waiting to see what happens in the House.
A gentleman from California is recognized for 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I worked hard in school, but the grade I'm proudest of is getting the first F ever issued by the crypto industry. This bill will say that the dollar must use George Washington technology while China can have a digital yuan and the crypto bros can have digital hidden money. This is Crypto Week. It's also Tax Evaders Month, National Drug Dealers Day, and Human Traffickers Tuesday.
Because even they know, Clarity Act might be the one crypto bill that could actually go somewhere. And we've heard the warnings loud and clear from Tim Scott, French Hill, and others who've been in the crypto trenches for years. Tying CBDC to Clarity could sink the entire package. This isn't just bad politics. It's strategic sabotage. You take the bill the industry cares about the most and chain it to a political lightning rod like CBDC, and poof, there goes your Senate support. Look, if you care about crypto's future in America, about legal clarity, investor protection, and innovation staying on shore, this should matter to you. This can't become another partisan show. If lawmakers are serious, they need to let the Clarity Act stand on its own, not use it as a vehicle for unrelated campaign promises. Crypto deserves real policy, not political theater. Keep your eye on how this plays out, because this marriage of bills, it might end before it even walks down the aisle.
You can ignore anyone who says this is a tool for legitimate finance because the tool is overwhelmingly used for crime. All 100% of ransomware attacks in the United States get paid in crypto. The Genius Act is for so-called stable coins. I say so-called because they are neither stable nor are they coins. They are bits of computer code. 6% of them are used to buy things. Nearly 90% are used to provide a liquidity bridge between much shadier cryptocurrencies, you know, the ones contemplated by the Clarity Act. No one will sell you a gallon of milk for a Trump coin. So criminals need stable coins so they can make crypto crime pay, or shall we say, laundered blockchain. And finally, it would allow anyone to create a self-hosted wallet, basically like an online account, where you can transfer assets between anonymous users with absolutely no regulatory supervision.
If this defense strategy spreads to the Senate, if more lawmakers buy into this narrative, it could stall the most promising pieces of crypto legislation we've seen in years. So, yeah, the Clarity Act is important, but the clarity we really need is in the story being told about crypto, and who's telling it. Keep watching, stay sharp, subscribe if you want real talk on crypto and Congress, not just headlines, and drop a comment. Have you heard your rep talk like this? Because what they say now could define the future.